Okay, this is a game called What Animal Am I Thinking About that you can play with your students. This will be one version of the game. I'll make a different one that will be kind of played differently. But before you do this, you want to review the video on the animals. Get all your animal names down. The student should know all the animal names. And then also review describing the different kinds of animals. Okay, to set this up, if you have your a large screen TV in your classroom, you can make your own slides and put them up there. Or um, I always prefer to use the animal props. So if you can invest in some good, kind of realistic looking animal props and you can put them on the table so that way the students can kind of get up and around the table and kind of feel them, look at them. And starting out with the lower kids, probably uh, use maybe just two. And so these are just demonstrations of how to play the game. So you can see that there are four different animals here, and they all have four legs. They all have brown fur. They all have horns. They all have tails. And so the object of this is that you are going to pick one of these animals. You're going to explain to the students, I'm going to be thinking of one of these animals and I'm going to describe it. And so you have to look at each animal and try to figure out which one I'm talking about. So the way that you begin this is you say Wamakashkawa awiblukchan. Wamakashka is animals, wa is a. Awiblukchan is a verb, and the BL is conjugated. That shows the conjugation. That means I'm doing it. Awiblukchan, I am thinking about. Wamakashkawa awiblukchan, I'm thinking about an animal. So that's what you begin with. That should get the students ready right there. So, all right. Okay, after you say Wamakashkawa awiblukchan, then you start to describe them. Then you can begin it by saying na. So remember, na is our connecting word. It means and. Na wamakashkaki, and the animal, hinchi, has brown fur. Na sinteptechila. And so right off the bat, they're going to be looking, okay, they all have brown fur, so that's not going to help them. Sinteptechila, they all pretty much have short tails, so that's not going to help them. Na hutopa, that's not going to help them. Na pute tranka. Okay, so now they're going to be looking at their snout or their muzzle, however you want to think about it. So remember the descriptive words, they have to know those. So, hanske, long, ptechela, short, and that goes back to reviewing those videos of describing animals. And so when you look at this, pute tranka, so tranka is large or big. So they'll kind of make the connection that only one of these kind of has a large kind of pute. Like, the buffalo, its snout is kind of connected to its head, but its head is large, tranka. And so nakba chikala, or we can reduplicate it if we want, but the little kids, we're just trying to teach them tranka, haske, chikala, those things. The older grades, they can start to reduplicate inanimate plural. So nakba chik chik ala. Naha heptechela, and its horns are short. So the key factor, the key thing that should give them the clue of which one is pute tranka. Okay, so then once they kind of decide, then their response would be Tratranka ki awilukcha. You are thinking about the buffalo. So, and then the L is the conjugation. So when it's BL for I do the verb, it's L for you do it. So wamakashkawa awiblukcha. I'm thinking about an animal. Tratkankaki awilukcha. You are thinking about the buffalo. And just an example of the insects. So you can kind of, like I said, lower grades, maybe do 2 or 3, keep it like really simple for them. Wablushka wa awiblukcha. I'm thinking about an insect. Wablushka, remember, means insect. Na wablushka ki ha trozi. So they're going to look. So ha, remember, is skin or hide. Trozi is green. So right off the bat, they should dismiss that tuswecha, the dragonfly. So they'll kind of narrow in on the grasshopper, on the spider. Sinte waniche. Okay, it doesn't have a tail. Na hu shaglocha. So that should be the clue right there, because the grasshopper has 6 legs. And we know the spider has 8. So hu shaglocha. Na pute waniche, na nakpa waniche, na he waniche. And he waniche is just kind of, you can say stuff like that. It could be funny for them. It doesn't have horns, because obviously. And then ishta topa. Ishta, eyes, topa. It has 4 eyes. Okay, if they didn't get it by hu shaglocha, so they should know their numbers too. And so the students will say iktomiki awiluksha. Okay, then you can move on to some reptiles. Wamakasloha. So wamakasloha just means things that crawl, like slither or crawl on the ground. I'm thinking about a reptile. So then you can start to describe it. So now wamakaslohana. Ha trozi, it has green skin. So they all have green skin. Remember, ha, skin or hide. Ha trozi. Na sinte waniche. Okay, so the agleshka kiena, it has a tail. So they'll kind of dismiss that one. Na hu waniche. Okay, it doesn't have legs. Okay, so then they should zero in. Zuzecha ki awilukcha. You're thinking about the snake. Okay, very simple. And for the bird, zintkala wa awiblukcha. I'm thinking about a bird. Na zintkala ki wiaka chi. So wiaka, remember, is feathers. Chi, brown. And for the older classes, you can reduplicate that color because there's more than one feather. But we're keeping it simple for the younger kids too, so that they can get their colors down. Na situpi ptechela. It has a short tail. Okay, so when they look at that, okay, they can see that the wagleksho, the turkey, situpi tranka, it has a large tail. So then they should zero in on the owl. If they don't get it by any of those other clues, by the tail, then once you say ishta trankinkia, okay, ishta is eyes, and then trankinkia is the reduplication of tranka, of large. So there's inanimate plural large things, and we're talking about its eyes, ishta trankinkia. For the lower kids, you can just say ishta tranka. Like it has big eyes, it has large eyes. So the students guess, heha, ki awilukcha. You're thinking about the L. Okay, so once they kind of have those down and they know the descriptions for reptiles, birds, you can get all the animals together on a table, and then or put them up on the big screen like this. Make your own little ones. You can, the better they get at this, you can start adding more and more. And so I'll just I'll choose an animal, and then I will have you kind of look at them right now. And then as I start to describe it, then see if you can guess which one I'm talking about. Okay, so wamakashkawa awiblukcha. Na wamakashkanki And then remember, if you want to keep your sequence, keep your sequence. So remember, we started with he. So he, ri. Na sinte hanske. Na hutopa. Na prute hanske. Na nakpa hanskaska. Na he waniche. Na chupahu waniche. Okay, so I just threw some other stuff in there, but you should have gotten it narrowed down enough to see what it was. Okay, so we said Henri, it has brown fur. So automatically you're going to dismiss all those things towards the bottom, except for that dog maybe. And then I said Sinte Hanske. So it has a long tail. Prute Hanske. It has a long snout. Nakpa, I can say Hanska, Naish Hanskanska. It has long ears. And then I just threw some stuff in there. Hewaniche. It doesn't have horns. There's no horns on it. So by looking at all of those, then you should have guessed that it is the horse, right? So you would say Shunkawa Kanki Awilukcha. You're thinking about the horse. Shunkawa Kanki Awilukcha. Okay, so that's kind of how it's played, and then you can move on to a different animal or insect.